We are becoming a nation of bullies and the bullied. Just this week, we saw anti-vaxxers chasing parents outside of schools in California.
He's going to be traumatized because you put that mask on him and you don't let him breathe through it. You're traumatized.
That's my choice.
Yeah, well,
that's my choice.
Yeah,
you better respect my choice too.
You're propagandized. You're not being told the truth.
And flipping over a COVID testing site in New York. And you've seen school board meetings descend into chaos.
We know who you are. We know who you are. You can leave freely, but we will find you, and we know who you never be allowed in public again.
We missed for 4 days. No.
No.
With so many teachers and school administrators harassed over mask mandates and other COVID restrictions, the Justice Department announced it would try to address this madness, but some in the GOP are all but pumping their fists in favor of the bullies enabling them by telling the lie that the FBI is coming after parents.
Practically every day brings new reports about this administration weaponizing the federal bureaucracy to go after political opponents. Frankly, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it in American history. I mean, for those of us who missed the McCarthy era, I guess this president is intent on bringing it to us.
Where's my Roy Cohn? Yeah, Josh Hawley. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. So I have to tell you right now that what has happened to us is a form of, you could call it post-traumatic stress disorder, but it isn't post. It's ongoing traumatic stress disorder. So it's OTSD. We're going through a traumatic sort of a brain injury of sorts here in this country, and it's happening on social media. So that is exactly why everybody is so fragmented and living in their own universe of information, let's call it, because it ain't facts, okay? It's not facts. This was the wet dream of the Steve Bannons of the world. This is exactly what was weaponized against us in 2015 when the scariest man who ever held the office of the presidency was running for the presidency. This is something that I can't tell you how many people try to inform you about with regard to Cambridge Analytica, with regard to Facebook, with regard to Twitter, with regard to, Instagram, and all of the different methods of deploying psychological profiling so that you weren't in a public square hearing a politician make their case. No, you were being whispered to on the internets, and not every voter was being whispered the same thing. They whispered things to you on your Facebook page, on your Instagram feed, on your Twitters, based on your personality profile, which they, and by them, I mean Steve Bannon and the Trump campaign, were able to suck out by, deploying algorithms, a set of instructions that delivered to them a psychological profile, data points built into a file on you based on your response to various things that you clicked on, various things that you liked, and quizzes that you participate in. Miranda. That's who it was, Brett. Miranda. You think I forgot? I didn't forget. It's like, which Sex and the City girl are you? Are you a Carrie? Are you a Miranda? Are you a Samantha? Right? And we couldn't, or a Charlotte. We couldn't remember Miranda. I remembered Cynthia Nixon, but I couldn't remember. Oh, it bothered me all weekend.
Well, the chat room was very disappointed. I mean, we sparked a firestorm conversation that day, so I was definitely aware after we got off air. Believe me.
But I mean, I just wanted to take you back just a little bit to Chris Wiley. Who was the first whistleblower that actually talked about the psychological profiling that was going on and the purpose of it and what Steve Bannon had hoped to accomplish. And now that you can see how fragmented we actually have become, right? I want you to understand that that was the goal in the first place.
Instead of standing in the public square and saying what you think and then letting people come and listen to you and have that shared experience as to what your narrative is, you are whispering into the ear of each and every voter, and you may be whispering one thing to this voter and another thing to another voter. We risk fragmenting society in a way where we don't have any more shared experiences and we don't have any more shared understanding. If we don't have any more shared understanding, how can we be a functioning society?
Thinking about that now, do you think that did change America or played a part in it?
I think it probably played a part. I can't say, for sure whether, what was the defining factor in getting Trump elected or growing the alt-right. If you want to fundamentally change society, you first have to break it. And it's only when you break it is when you can remold the pieces into your vision of a new society. This was the weapon that Steve Bannon wanted to build to fight his culture war.
And they built it, and it is a weapon, and we're now in a culture war where we have a third of America who believes Trump was robbed and that the election wasn't free and fair. We have people who believe COVID is a hoax. But one of the things that is ubiquitous now, one of the things that is basic now in our society is violence. People are so disrupted in their grasp on reality because they've been fed a steady diet of alternate universe, an alternate reality, that they're literally fighting flight attendants. They're literally getting involved in fistfights on airplanes because they believe that COVID is a big hoax to make them suffer or to make them look stupid. I have no idea why, but they're fighting not just flight attendants. Now they're beating up nurses. Now they're beating up healthcare workers. They're beating up doctors. They're going after vaccination sites and toppling them in places like New York City, okay? They are going after kids, literally following children on the street and yelling at their parents. You're not allowing your child to breathe. This is child abuse. Really out of control, right? They're fighting with school board members. They're literally fighting with election officials. There's no one that's off limits. This is how a society gets broken. This is what has happened. And I don't think anybody has taken the time or engaged in the effort to show it to you from the very beginning, how it began, what they did, the data files. Everybody in this audience that has ever been on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, TikTok follows you everywhere you go. TikTok, every time you're on TikTok, they know exactly where you are. But this is, a psychological profile file. This tells the people who want to influence you through micro-targeting what your personality responds to. Not just your politics, but your personality. Are you somebody that likes to be angry? Are you somebody that cries? Are you somebody that's, cold? They know exactly how to talk to you. And they whisper in your ear what they think is going to trigger you to do what they want you to do or what they want you to think. Now, this is frightening, and it is a giant weapon, and it's obviously something that these social media companies are aware of, but they don't want to change the instructions. They don't want to change the script that is full of instructions about what to show you because they feel that you will disengage. And engagement is how they are making their money. So here we are, just literally ripping each other's faces off, distrusting each other, even when it comes to school teachers and healthcare and flight attendants. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.